Powering Startup Ecosystem, the East Side Story. The topic for the panel discussion right now is Powering Startup Ecosystem, the East Side Story. Our session is going to be chaired by Debarshi Chakravorti, who's the VP Business Communication and Planning, Interactive Avenues, and he'll be joined now. So please give it up for him. He's been there since morning, sir. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you. And he's going to be joined on stage by Dhriti Chatterjee, founder and director, DC Vision VI. I hope I got it right. It's DC Vision, right? Thank you so much. In case I got it wrong, you could have greeted me outside or here since I have the show to carry. All right. We also have Ramasish Bhowmik, who's partner from Ovenly Baked. Yummy food. I saw the promo. Yummy. Looking forward to it. We have Saurav Kothari, co-founder from Kisa. I believe it is right, Kisa? We have Saurav Kothari from... Give a huge round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the early morning. Show some energy. If you want, I can show you how to clap. You do this. Come on, give it up. Yes, thank you. We also have Sujata Chatterjee, who's the founder and MD of Twirl.store. Yes, Sujata Chatterjee, ma'am, as well. Looking all wonderful, all smiles. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Good morning. All right, so the stage is set. The panel is ready. Let's get going. The stage is all yours. Thank you.
Is it on? Yeah, it is. Well, thank you so much for the very energetic introduction and a great keynote start from Ms. Borua. So we are here for the very exciting Powering Startup Ecosystem, the East Side Story. So today we shift, right? We shift the spotlight from the bustling south and west of the country, where we, startup and that region is always synonymous. But today, East, when I was being asked to chair this session, there's a lot of activities that is already happening, and that was an eye-opener for me myself. To today, to have this session, we promise a very deep dive into what's happening in the East, with all of you being part of that journey. And we also have a session, understanding of what's the opportunity for this region, what is the kind of challenges that we still have in this region, and therefore how we can really overcome as a partner. So to really open up this discussion, there are two very interesting facts that I've come across recently, and those facts are kind of anomaly to each other. The fact number one is this entire economic review has stated that Bengal, though we are talking about the entire eastern region, but Bengal is a very strong primary hub of the eastern region, that the GSDP is about 7.65%, which is much more than the national average of 7.32. And Bengal and East in general is almost contributing as the sixth largest GDP in terms of economy for the country. On the other hand, the interesting stats that has come up from the Department of Promotion of Industry, International Trade, which has now started recognizing startups at national level, they are saying that the eastern region currently contributes to about 1.35% of the total startups that's in the country, right, which is about close to about 120,000. So there is a dichotomy as being the sixth largest in terms of GDP contribution, but from a startup ecosystem, it's kind of forward. So it would be really, quite interesting to hear from each one of you. That do you see this as a challenge, or like you was discussing Laura, that it has actually changing? So let's start from you. That in the times to come, do you see this 1% to actually touch 10%, very soon?
Hi guys, firstly a very good morning. So like Debarshi was discussing, I think this is definitely changing. The startup ecosystem in Kolkata and in East is very aggressively growing, and I think more than a challenge, it's an opportunity, since it's not a very mature market, so to say, for the startup ecosystem, but there are a lot of enablers that is coming in, both locally and nationally, which actually enables the startup ecosystem to grow. I think that's where to say this one is.
Yes, I'm completely agreed to Saurav that I would also say that this is an opportunity over challenge. Of course, there are some challenges and we have to address over time, but opportunities are more in the external market right now. The market is wide open. People are respecting startup and they are recognizing startups. And I mean, in future, near future, I think that if we create the right ecosystem, then the startups will be much more benefited in different ways. So I find it as an opportunity even for my second company, which is a startup. So definitely I would say that yes.
It's on. Good morning, everyone. So, 5 to 6 years back, when people used to ask for jobs in Kolkata, they would still say, no, I prefer Mumbai or Delhi because there's not much opportunity here. And we could not imagine having a startup in Kolkata even 5 to 6 years back. But now the systems, the processes have changed by huge margin. I do have two startups in one 5 years old and one and a half years old. So I think I do not face so much challenges in terms of partnerships, in terms of employment, in terms of opportunities. So yes, I think definitely the things have changed by a huge margin and it's definitely going to change more. So let's see what's in store for us.
Love the energy and the optimism and the
I think it's also a bit about perception. I think we tend to have this perception that maybe Kolkata or East India does not have enough startups, but I don't think the story can always be told in terms of numbers. Sometimes it's quality over quantity. It doesn't help to start up 100 companies, but are they actually meaningful? Are they doing meaningful work? Are they really contributing? More importantly, are they sustaining beyond the, say, that 3-year, 4-year difficult period? So I think, Kolkata has always produced great businesses, great companies, whether you call them startups, whether you call them, great organizations, and it continues to do so. So I see a very positive market, and I'm glad we are all part of that, business ecosystem that is actually doing meaningful work. So whether it contributes to the 1% or the 6%, that's just numbers.
All right, so maybe that 1% will jump to 10% in the next 6 months, maybe 5 years is too much. Right. Taking a step back, right, while we are, of course, we are talking about the East and the energy and the enthusiasm around the starting ecosystem, but as an ecosystem as a whole, as a country, we anyway grapple with a lot of challenges. How we turn that into opportunities also depends on how we are passionate about it. And it covers around early stage funding, it's around a lot of talent, right, limited opportunity in terms of market, acceleration programs. I'm sure each one of you have faced certain challenges, and I think it would be really great to hear from you the challenge and how each one of you turned into an opportunity to where each of you are here today. Right? Maybe we can start from you.
Thank you so much. In the East, particularly say in Kolkata or West Bengal, there is a tendency of, hanging on to what we're comfortable with, what we like in the past. And we are that by nature, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes when you're a startup or starting something new, that could provide a challenge. For example, in the kind of work that I do, just to set the context, 12 Store actually converts waste to wonder. We collect unwanted material and upcycle or reuse that to create a new range of products. This is a very unique concept, and it's hardly done in India or in the world at large. Now, when I started from Kolkata 7 years back, everyone told me that if you want to do something so radically different, you have to do it in a place where they can accept it. So maybe it would be best if you could go to maybe a New York or a London, but at least if not that, go to a Mumbai or a Bangalore. But to do it from Kolkata, where people would not be so willing to accept something so radically different, may be a great risk. But I'm proud to say that I'm glad we took that risk, and I'm glad that we were able to explain what we were doing to the people of Kolkata and turn that into an opportunity. But yes, I do see that that could be a challenge, that maybe that the education and the conversion of the customers could be a problem if they continue to hold on to those old mindsets.
So at the very beginning, what I said was 5-6 years back there was a tendency of we actually saw people willing to go to other parts of the country or maybe even beyond countries and not stay in Kolkata. So that has been one of our major challenges. I would not say I've overcome it completely, but I have come across stages of it for sure. What I feel is that if you give your people the right opportunity and the right culture, they're absolutely going to stay with you. And we have seen that in initial days we used to face those challenges, but now, first and foremost, what I think is majorly important to do in your company, whatever it is, a small startup, a big startup, you need to define your culture properly. We generally what we do is in our initial days we used to hire people and then set the culture and then try to align them with our culture. But I think it's very important to define our own culture first and then find people who aligns with that kind of a culture. And I think then people will definitely people are going to stay with you. So that has been one of our major challenges. And one more thing is that people do talk about money, salaries, etc. And I think that's a big motivator for sure. Let's not deny the fact. So I think one reality is that people are not going to, in this generation, people are not going to stay with you forever, for 60 years. That has been a thing of past wherein our dads used to work 30-40 years in the same company. So right now the average, maybe they stay 2-3 years. So we need to identify people who are going to stay with you for longer and definitely pay them more. I think this is a very blunt statement, but I think you need to pay more, even more than the market standards to let them be with you. And I think it's going to be really important for any startup, whether it's an agency that I have or it's a food FMCG company that I have. But people are the most important tools that you have, or maybe the war chest. It's not money, it's not your marketing, it's the people that you're going to take along with you. So it's very important for them to take care of them and make them stay with you. So I think that's the kind of challenges we have overcome right now, and it's a long way to go. So let's see what happens.
Very heartening to hear that you're focusing on culture, because the perception outside of a startup ecosystem is that you go in there and you can make up for all the losses that a traditional agency or a company can provide, right? But good, I think that's a very important point. Coming to you, Rav, that again, one challenge that you face and how you have turned that into opportunity operating from East.
So actually I completely agree with Ramasish that the biggest challenge is like for an organization to grow or to scale, you need the right set of people in your organization. That is like the most important thing. So I think there are two poles to it. One is acquiring the right set of people and retaining them. So for acquiring, again like Ramasish mentioned that 5 years ago, people didn't want to move back to Kolkata. We kind of had a brain drain kind of a situation where people were actually moving out of Kolkata to other metro cities for better opportunities. So what we did in our acquisition strategies, firstly, we started sourcing the right people, in the sense that firstly we used AI to create job descriptions and identify the keywords through which we can find the right people. And then we actually targeted people who are actually from the eastern part of the country and have moved out. So they have an added incentive of actually moving back, maybe closer to family, or also the cost of living here is quite low compared to other metro cities. So that was an added incentive to get the right set of people. And about retaining the right set of employees, of course, culture is an extremely important part. Another thing that we need to focus on is the development of the talent that we have in our life. How do we grow them? How do we ensure that they are learning the most updated skill sets, they are updating themselves, and they are updating their profiles so that they can contribute to the organization. And that actually keeps them motivated also if they are learning and growing within the organization. So that I felt is a very important factor to actually retain employees.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dhriti?
Yes, so when I have founded the second company that I have, Distribution PR, since the inception time, I was completely clear in my mind that, the biggest challenge that I'm going to face is this product is not a should have product, this is a could have product, it's a luxury product. At least the thought process of people are like this, that why we have different other ways of marketing our products and services, why we need VR, why this recent technology, we are not aware about this part. So since the beginning, as I was completely aware about that, so I have started making people aware about not only our product, about the technology. Okay, so it has become a part and partial of my marketing process, that awareing audience is a very key process that I have followed for last 5 years relentlessly. And today when I get pool calls, incoming inquiries about virtual reality services and products, it gives me immense pleasure. Like last financial year, 40% of our revenue we have generated from Kolkata, Eastern market. So that clearly, identify that how this market has opened up and complete, making people aware about this technology, that strategy worked. So that is, I think, the biggest challenge, and we are still overcoming it. Thank you.
So it's great to hear that all the panelists have brought a very unique challenge and how they're overcoming it, right from the belief in the customers to culture to talent nurture to understanding the process, right? This moves to the next segment, that when we talk about East itself has certain inherent attributes to itself, right? And culture actually sits on top, right? And we like to believe that it continues to sit on top. And followed by that, there is a strong youth market, right? Education still has some, a lot of, synergy in the primary education, the senior to plus two, the colleges, etc. And the third is that, in your case, there's a lot of digital adoption from the East that's also taking place. From the agency ecosystem, we are also seeing numbers that contribution to Amazon or a Flipkart to all the quick commerce, East is really putting up that. So considering these attributes that are inherent part of East, right? What are some of your plans as a startup ecosystem to harness these attributes to further progress? Happy to hear that as well.
Thank you. So I think we are blessed that in the East people actually see beyond shiny things. We have such a rich culture, we have such a rich heritage of literature and history. We appreciate stories, we appreciate the true causes. And as I said, in a lot of other parts of India or across the world, people do get attracted to maybe a big brand name or the most shiny or the most expensive piece here. Here we get attracted to something that touches our soul. That's the consumer mindset of the East. We have to do things that touch people. So I think keeping that in mind, the way to reach out to customers in the East is to have an amazing story and to keep repeating that story and make it relevant for them. Just like ma'am was saying before in the keynote address, if you can make someone feel better, someone feel happy, there's nothing like it. For example, we're making sustainable products. We're saying that through that, and because it's handmade by rural women, you're helping not just the environment and society as well, you're doing your bit for the world. Now just by aligning with us, supporting us, if they feel they're able to do a little bit more for the earth, for their culture, for their state, their country, that's a feel-good feeling. So these are simple things that you can actually tap into and reach out and have access to a very large population of the youth, because they connect with these things. And as you rightly said, we have a great youth base also here who care about social causes, who care about sustainability, environment causes, who care about stories and things like that. So let us utilize all that and reach out to them in the more innovative ways rather than going after the biggest or the most expensive way.
Sujata ma'am rightly said that people here are very emotional, and I also feel that compared to the other parts of India. So the important crux of this discussion is that people, since they're very emotional, I think they they root for people, or they root for startups, they root for founder-led brands, right? They understand their story, they have their empathy towards us as well. So we have felt that very deeply as well. Now coming to the BAU part, if I talk about the youth and the penetration of digital. So earlier we were a user of Amazon, Myntra, we still are, yeah. But the kind of penetration that quick commerce has right now. So we generally tend to buy from the website or maybe Amazon, Myntra, and then we quickly shift towards quick commerce in our second, third, fourth purchase. I think brands need to, for any kind of brands, whether it's quick commerce or anything which delivers to the consumer quickly at their fingertip, it's very important for brands to be there. We as an FMCG brand are looking forward to being quick commerce very soon. So I think that's very important to understand the consumer psyche here, is that they discover the brand and then they want it at their fingertip very quickly. So I think that's and that's how we will beat the national bigger brands as well. Because otherwise it's very difficult to fight those national brands, those giants in the shelf space that they compete with. It's very difficult for a small startup like us to compete with them. Now, the only way is to reach the youth, and that I think that's very easy right now. Earlier it was to be very difficult, but right now it's very easy. You have quick commerce, you have your digital advertising as well. Secondly, what I feel about the emotional part is that we need to connect with those emotional part very as soon as possible, right? So, in our advertisements, we have an advertisement agency as well called Adgully. So therein we handle brands as well, like us. So we have an FMCG brand. So what we do, what we have seen recently is that people are looking for not to salesy advertisement. Like, this is my product, I have 5 different features, I have 20% discount. People are not looking for that actually. People are actually looking for founder-led discussions when a founder himself or herself is coming in the advertisement and talking about the product, how it is made, what are the challenges that we face, like in a factory or whatever. The workers are there, the laborers are there, whatever the entire system is there. And I think consumers are very much relating to those kind of advertisements, and they want to see more reality than fake claims like I have done this, I have done that. So I think that's a opportunity here, and we should all look towards it to optimize it or utilize it as much as possible.
In fact, whenever we do any kind of consumer segmentation for youth, one of the architect and company will label readers. Right? So they first want to read how authentic is the brand, and then they decide whether they want to really go after it. Yeah. So again, the thing that inherent attributes of East and how we have already mastered the game, or you're still in the process of mastering some of it.
So talking about the youth population, the Gen Z. So the population has reached over 100 million in the last few years, and they are actually the torchbearers of all the consumer brands now.
Right.
Like some Gen Z is a very different generation from the prior generations, I would say. They are, of course, they are very conscious of the social and societal changes. They have a sense of individuality. Then they are somebody who is very tech savvy and are early adopters.
Sure.
So we at Kissa Apparel also, our product design, product ideation is all done by keeping the Gen Z at the center of the table. We think of Gen Z, what they like, and then that is what we try to create, and that actually flies through with all other generations as well. So they are actually driving all the consumer behaviors now. And they are a generation who actually doesn't look at saving money. They have money, they'll spend it. So it's a very interesting generation, and that is whom we actually target. And about the e-commerce or digital penetration, thanks to Mr. Ambani, in the last 10 years, the internet penetration from near 14% has reached to around 20%. So almost everybody is on internet, and the biggest e-commerce industry, both quick commerce and e-commerce industry. And again, we at Kissa Apparels are at the heart of e-commerce. Like our sales engine is e-commerce, and like ma'am mentioned earlier, that now the funnel has completely changed.
Yes.
People are discovering brands and products on an e-commerce platform. Then they are going to a D2C website or going to a retail store and actually making that purchase. So definitely e-commerce is at the heart of our planning.
Absolutely. And for ethnic wear for a Gen Z is a challenge in itself, right?
We actually call ourselves the new age men's ethnic wear.
Yes, so I think for any startup, understanding the market is a no-brainer. Unlike the other part of the country, Eastern market is always connected with emotions, human emotion. So, I mean, rapport making is a no-brainer for any marketer or any entrepreneur startups. But how you are making the rapport? If your product is addressing to a certain age criteria, if we are talking about Gen Z as Saurav has mentioned, then we have to understand their behavior, that where they spend their maximum time, where they usually been to. I mean, they are spending their maximum time in social media. So digital marketing is the best way to tap this kind of people. Now, not only you are targeting the media, I mean, you are targeting the digital media, and maybe you are doing different kind of activities like and making them aware about, don't make them aware about your product features. Trying to help them that how that particular product or service or that particular industry can help them. Because no one is interested in what you have done, and no one is interested that how your product, how great your product is. People are interested that how we can help them. Keeping that in mind, if you are solving any problem of them, like if I talk about our product. So Twirl is a product that is a sustainable product. We are there creating clothes, making clothes out of sustainable things, recycling the things. Now, if they are having their e-commerce store, what is the one pain point that my product can address? That the online virtual trial. That is the pain point that every time if we are trialing any of the e-commerce dresses, I mean any fashion product on e-commerce platform, we don't have the privilege of trialing that, or I mean from the portal, right, for you as well. What my product is doing, we are helping the Gen Z or anyone who is choosing a particular dress, they can trial that particular dress on that e-commerce platform as well. So we are bridging the gap and helping them, supporting them, solving their problem. So if you understand their mind, that why they are hesitating, why they are getting out of the site, no, give them an opportunity. The chances of getting the product, return is getting much lower. So understanding the customer behavior, tapping the right field, and touching their emotion. These are the three major things. I think it plays a major role in external market, because without emotion, whatever you do, people are not going to respond here. So making a long time rapport with all your, in case of B2C business, you cannot make rapport with everyone. But for B2B business, definitely you have to keep a long time rapport with your customers as well. So, yeah.
So it seems that East is the melting pot to inject some emotion in technology, right? I think that's what you're aiming at. We have got about 3 odd minutes left. So while we're brimming with confidence, we're brimming with a lot of potential for the East, etc. So which but as people who are driving force behind our startups, there would be still some aspirations, some change that you wish to see, right, in the East, so that we have our own, if I may say, a Siliguri Valley in the near future. So what would be that one change or one vision that you have, and you believe that this really can bring for you to advance what you're already doing?
This is something I always have a vision, not specific to the startup system, but I think in general, that we must support each other. The only way we can make East grow and have these dreams come true is if we are willing to support each other as business entrepreneurs, support each other as normal customers. If I need to buy something, he should be my first choice, he should be my first first, or if I need technology, I should reach out to her first. If we can have this, mindset amongst us, I think that will generate a lot of new business and opportunities.
Absolutely, well said.
So yeah, I think our mindset aligns hugely from the very starting of the discussion. So I think yes, collaboration and supporting each other is the need of the hour, because we need to understand that fighting with each other is not the solution, right? We need to increase the pie so that everyone gets a piece of it, and the more we do that, the pie gets to go bigger and bigger, and I think it's beneficial for everyone in this industry, whatever industry it is. So that's my vision for
So
Kolkata.
more about growing the pie than
growing the pie. Yeah,
scribbling the same pie. That's what you meant. All right. Saurav.
Of course, supporting is definitely, I agree with that. And another thing that I would like to see is more risk taking. Like something like Sujata said, she's taken a very ambitious, bold vision of achieving something. Dhriti doing something in VR, being in Kolkata. So taking such more risky, bold moves would actually improve the entire ecosystem.
So I've always been optimistic regarding Eastern market. It's been 15 years into business in this particular market. Both the teams, I want to sum up with all the points that they have mentioned. The first thing is supporting each other, getting into collaboration over competition. Competition, it's not good and it's not worth as well. So collaboration is always accepted, and that's for any startup who are going to be entrepreneur. Maybe today they are solopreneur, but over the time they will form their team and they will start their own entrepreneurial journey. So you have to take risk. Taking ability is something that no one can change it for you, and no one can take those decisions on behalf of you. And over that, I would say that if you have the right team at the right place at the right time, if you are mixing with the right people on right time, that is also makes a huge difference. So all these things together in Eastern market, I'm really optimistic that anyone can create magic. Thank you.
And maybe one additional point, that Adgully and Vijaya should have these sessions more often, right? For all of us. Right? But great to have all of you here. Some lovely points being made, and I'm sure the delegates and the audience will take back something from this session. Thank you very much.